Swadika and good afternoon. We're back with the English language summary of the live press briefing from the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or the CCSA. Today's briefing is for Friday, the 10th of September 2021, and I will be summarizing both the general situation and measures adopted by the CCSA General Meeting this afternoon, which was chaired by the Prime Minister himself and was just adjourned only moments ago and was just summarized right now by Dr. Tawisin, the spokesperson for the CCSA, in the Thai language. Overall, the meeting today noted that the number of COVID-19 cases and fatalities is on a downward trend, but albeit a gradual downward trend, as was predicted by the Ministry of Public Health and its simulation model. However, to ensure that this downward trend continues and that there will be a smooth transition towards the reopening of the country in October, the CCSA has deemed it best to extend the existing measures that we have right now in place for another 2 weeks until the end of September, which is the 30th of September. So what are these measures? I'd like to reiterate that the zonings that have been categorized as before remain the same, which means that we still have the same 29 provinces within the maximum and strict controlled area. And also the maximum controlled area will still have the 37 provinces announced earlier, and 11 provinces are still in the controlled area. And the measures within each specific zone remains the same, which means that there is still a curfew in place for the maximum and strict controlled area of 29 provinces. The curfew of starting at 9 p.m. or 2100 hours until 4 o'clock in the morning of the following day, that is still in place. Also, we should avoid unnecessary travel, interprovincial travel, and also public gatherings should not be allowed for more than 25 people. And also although the shopping malls and restaurants are allowed to open, there are some restrictions in place. For instance, for those restaurants with open air or circulated settings, they are allowed 75% seating capacity. For those in closed settings, which has air conditioning, they are allowed 50% seating capacity, and they are allowed to be opened only until 2000 hours, meaning 8 o'clock in the evening, and also no alcohol is allowed to be served in the restaurants. And of course, there are still some limited business operations allowed within the shopping malls, as we announced earlier. Also, what is important is that COVID-free setting environments and universal prevention measures are encouraged to be adopted by the public as well as business owners. And we hope that such measures will help bring the country to gradual opening and resumption of other businesses very soon. Also, now, let me give you just an update on the numbers of today's vaccination drive. We have today administered 698,621 doses of vaccines, so that's almost 700,000 doses of vaccines administered as of yesterday. The accumulated number of doses of vaccines administered overall is now standing at 38.87 million doses, so that's almost 39 million doses. So this will be in an upward trend as well, and I will get to some more information and more updates about vaccines very soon. Let me now talk about the new reported cases, which Dr. Tubisin actually reported earlier during noon of today. We have today new confirmed cases standing at 14,403 cases, and active cases now stand at 141,642. Of course, within that number, not everyone is being treated in hospitals. A large number of those active cases are being treated in hospitals and community isolation centers. We have a number of new recoveries which exceed the number of new confirmed cases, standing at 15,610 cases. New fatalities today we have reported at 189. So the meeting today also observed that most of the infections, the new infections, have been reported in all 77 provinces. 31 provinces have reported over 100 infections. And Bangkok again has the highest number of infections today, standing at 3,495 cases. And Samut Prakan again came in second with 1,037 cases, followed by Chonburi at 802, Samut Sakhon at 678, and Ratchaburi at 615. Now, I would like to talk more about updates about our vaccination plan and strategy, which was discussed today at the CCSA General Meeting. The meeting now has a plan for October to inoculate at least 50% of the population in every province. And the priority, of course, will be given to the elderly, those with the listed 7 underlying medical conditions, and pregnant women. And this is because we expect to receive 24 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines within the month of October. And also the plan now is to expand vaccinated groups to include those aged 12 to 17 in preparation for the start of the new academic year. And of course, the focus will start in the 29 provinces. That's within the maximum and strict controlled area. And inoculations for the students or the minors will be managed by their academic institutions or schools, and must of course be confirmed by consent of the parents or the guardians of the minors. For instance, Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, or the BMA, will start their inoculation drive already for students who are attending the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration's affiliated schools. They will be starting this on the 21st of September already. So you can start to prepare for vaccinations for the students. Also, another very important information is that the CCSA, with the consultation and advice from the Ministry of Public Health, have decided that Thailand will be moving forward with vaccination formulas, which will include a combination of vaccines produced by different manufacturers. So the approved formulas for vaccination in Thailand, if this is a combined vaccination from different manufacturers, this will include Sinovac and AstraZeneca, Sinovac and Pfizer vaccines, and also AstraZeneca and Pfizer. So The reason that we have changed this formula for vaccination is because by the end of September, we will be receiving a large number of Pfizer vaccines, which we have already procured. And so we will bring these Pfizer vaccines into use. And also for students or minors aged 12 to 17, the main vaccines that will be used for this particular group is Pfizer and Pfizer. Now, I'd also like to explain that another very important decision has been made for those who have received Sinovac vaccines and have completed their second doses since March to May of this year. They will receive their booster vaccines with either AstraZeneca or Pfizer vaccines. And of course, this will start also very soon, by the end of September or October. So I hope that this news is useful to everyone, so you'll understand the vaccines that are going to be used in Thailand. And this is going to be applied to foreign nationals who have registered for vaccination with our campaign as well. Now for some good news. As I mentioned earlier this week, regarding the continued support from our friends around the world in the fight against COVID-19, on Wednesday, just last Wednesday, on the 8th of September, Thailand received already the additional 300,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines, which the Japanese government had announced that it would contribute and donate to Thailand. And at the same time, Japan also announced a plan to contribute 5.5 million US dollars worth of COVID-related equipment. And this includes 775 oxygen concentrators, vaccine storage, and transportation systems to Thailand. So you can see here on the screen all the vaccines and the equipment that have been sent and received just this Wednesday. We are extremely grateful and thank the Japanese government for their very kind support. Now, so before I end my briefing, I'd like to respond to some questions in the media by some foreign nationals asking about how they could obtain a vaccine certificate issued by Thai authorities. You have now on the screen an infographic by the government's public department, public information department. So you can apply for a vaccine certificate for international travel through the following procedures. You can apply through the International Communicable Disease Control Port at Suvarnabhumi Airport. That's the first channel. The second channel is through the travel clinic at Bamrad Narangoon Infectious Disease Institute. And the third channel is through the Urban Institute for Disease Prevention and Control. And of course, on the infographic, they give you the information of the documents needed to apply for this very important document. So, this is all I have for you today. I hope my briefing was clear enough. Since this is Friday, allow me to wish you a very happy and great weekend. And I hope that you will all stay safe at home. Thank you very much for your kind attention. We'll be back on Monday again with another briefing. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ